Ready to go!
Alright YouTube, welcome. Another technical series. Edward, Ethan, whatever it is becoming known for being the technical other dude in the videos. You're in all the technical videos now. Yeah. But anyway, today we're going to talk about, yet again, some more technique. Today we're talking about the high hook. Now I'm going to get straight into straps for the high hook. You can do this, you can do that outside of straps, but for the purpose of me being able to talk and Ethan not rolling me open accidentally for the video, because Ethan can roll me if I'm not paying attention, I need to put it in the strap because then I'm secure. But the high hook, I feel like it's one of the most widely misunderstood. It's like a mystery to a lot of people. They're like, hang on, what is this mysterious high hook thing? Like, I've heard people say it's a hook with back pressure. I've heard people describe basically a top roll and say it's a high hook. Like, okay, the high hook in an essence is a pronated hook. Think about the pronation of your arm. It's a pronated hook with a passive, we call it an active passive. An active passive pressure, which means you're not driving, you're creating a defense that when this guy drives against, his hand goes bloop, bloop, okay? And we're inside the hook. We're not rolling him. Anyway, you'll see it. Here it comes. But we're also doing the hidden hook. And then the hidden hook is a beautiful complement to the high hook. It is basically what I do and what I would recommend you do. If high hooking is where you're trying to end up finishing the match, the hidden hook will be what will keep you alive when this guy's really strong and driving hard. So one of the beautiful things about the high hook and the hidden hook is that they are both great methods of defeating someone who is physically stronger than you. It requires high table IQ because you are going to lead the dance and you're never going to meet fire with fire. No attrition warfare in the high hook and the hidden hook. They're all subtle derailments. So to set up for a high hook, hidden hook, the most important thing is wrist flexion. If you get flattened out, you're not going to get either of them in. You must get your cup. So relative to your opponent, you need to put emphasis on depth rather than height in the setup. So depth, if I'm looking at this, and I'll get as close to my opponent as I can, which means I will drop I'll wrist up, drop my thumb as low as I can during the strap setup. Whether they're a top roller or a hooker, doesn't really matter. The objective is the same thing. Okay, so the objective, what is the objective, you ask? Good question, YouTube. The objective for the hidden and high hook is to first of all force your opponent to use their pronation as their active effort. Now, even if they're a hooker, even if they're wanting to come inside on you like that, and they're wanting to supinate, the hidden hook, there we go, I've just put him in the hidden hook. All I did, come back up Ethan for me. All I did was I am actually voluntarily laying my arm down and going to the outside of my elbow as he drives, and then I'm dragging underneath like this. Subsequently, the working chain for him now is back pressure and pronation. If he rests and stands back up, I will follow him and keep a subtle pressure on his pronation and back pressure. So I'm still in the hidden hook. I'm not in a high hook yet, I'm in hidden hook. And he goes to pin. Even if he goes to press, comes forward and tries to press, I'll pronate momentarily, and then he'll return. And the reason he will constantly return to that outside pressure effort is because I am really giving it to him. I am voluntarily saying, look, I'm not even going to fight you there, Ethan. And then when he gets that position, my cup, the one thing you must secure, is able to stop. Now when I say stop, I'm not saying it's actively rolling him off it. I just want to create a wall that he can't get through. And I'll let him try. And he'll try, and he'll try, and he'll try. And he will eventually start to feel lactic acid in his body and want to retract and rest. So when he retracts and rests, remember how I was on the outside of my elbow? We go now to the point of my elbow. We're almost to a high hook. We're exiting the hidden hook at the moment. And the bleed for him, oh, he's surging again, back to the hidden hook. Hidden hook, because he could sense, when he came up to center, Now ask Evan Burgoyne what this feels like. I did this to him beautifully in the bottom 8. Evan was driving like Ethan, and as he comes up, I go back to the point of my elbow, and all I'm doing now, the pressure, I am keeping lactic acid on this chain here. His bicep, his brachialis, and his pronation. It's passive. I'm not going, I'm not trying to pin. If I try to pin, I risk bleeding my hand more than it should. So at the moment, I have a subtle dragging down pressure and a subtle pressure keeping the lactic acid. Because remember, he was surging hard. He was using his active effort. So he's already used up a lot of the fuel. Now I'm just keeping a gentle bleed on that same fuel. The next thing that happens is that, and this is where the transition to the high hook begins, is his hand is going to start to get tired. He's going to start to come forward and his hand is going to start to flatten out. You'll see now I've started to pronate inside the hook. I'm now rising and pronating. And so I'm no longer cupping low, I'm now pronating and rising high and winning shoulder line. As he has become fatigued, I am now, if you draw a line from my shoulder to my hand, cuts into this space. If you draw a line from his shoulder to his hand, hits me right in the middle of the chest. Means that I am winning shoulder line. Now from here, he still has the power to go for a pin. I need to be ready to transition back to that hidden hook in an instant. And he's gonna start to really panic now because he's running out of space. He keeps trying. The hidden hook is always ready to stop.
Do the Evan Burgoyne.
Yeah, the Evan Burgoyne. And as that lactic acid gets worse and worse, what you want to do, and this is the high hook component, is with a gentle passive pronation and a gentle passive rise, just fill the gaps that they give you. As he looks to rest, as he looks to deal with his own lactic acid, gently move your elbow towards the left and keep always this gentle rise on. And don't ever go for the active pin until you are absolutely certain you've got it. If I went for the active pin, I risk bleeding out and he gets me. But here, gentle pin, trust me, this man has used up way more fuel than you have in this time. And I'm impressed that Ethan's hand is still intact because he's tried a fair bit. And you just wait. If you have to go back to the hidden hook, go back to the hidden hook. Now let's go through it, Ethan. And so now I'm taking center, taking away his room, and right now I could just finish with a press. Or if you really want to rub it in, sit there and wait and look at the guy, look at him in the eye, and take every fundamental like this. And now it's like Devon Larrabee Matt Mask. And Devon's like, I haven't pinned you yet, what's going on? I thought you said you wouldn't pin yourself. Is that pinning yourself? Trust me, they pin themselves. Especially if it's a super match. So, to recap, grip in such a manner that your cup is secure. The critical thing. The hidden hook the objective of the hidden hook is to place your opponent's effort on their brachialis, bicep, and pronation. So when they drive sideways, even inside, do not supinate and match them. That is not a hidden hook. A hidden hook was to allow them that space, force them into that pressure, stop their pronation and rise. As they bleed, transition to a passive, pronated and back pressure, win shoulder line and relax. Relax. If they surge again, return to the hidden hook. If they don't surge again, continue to take shoulder line, sit behind it, and then, yeah, voila, we have someone pin themselves. Good feeling. Really satisfying way to win. You love that sort of stuff, don't you, Ethan?
Yeah.
You've done it to, who'd you do it to? You did it to Isaac or something, didn't you? One of the rounds?
Oh, almost.
Almost, okay.
Almost.
It's coming, trust me. But this, for me, guys, really, really, really valuable way of arm wrestling. In a combat sense, like I said, this does require a good table IQ. You need to avoid at all cost active effort. Never in a hidden hook. The only active effort you will ever do is gaining your cup at the beginning. Once you have it, everything else is passive. Passive, passive, passive. Fill the gap, fill the gap, fill the gap, and maybe an active press right at the end if they're not pinning themselves. Alright guys, let me know your thoughts. If you like the high hook, leave a comment.
Yes, that's a man!